Hello, I'm Jennifer. Welcome to another episode of Case Brief, brought to you by the Missouri Sheriff's Association. Before we get started, I want to remind everyone that this information is for training purposes only and in no way is to be considered legal advice. Today we discuss an Eighth Circuit Court case involving the Miranda warning and the legal determination of custody when interviewing incarcerated inmates. Our goal is to provide a clear understanding of how such cases unfold. Remember, this content is educational and not legal advice. So, let's dive into the details. Facts of the case. In October 2017, Turner was serving a term of imprisonment after a previous conviction for possession of graphic child pictures. A prison guard caught Turner with a cell phone in his bunk. Several months later, in May 2018, prison officials summoned Turner to an interview with Special Agent Johnson of the FBI and Lieutenant Flint, an investigator with the Bureau of Prisons. Prison guards escorted Turner from his housing unit to a meeting room within the prison. The room was a medium to large-sized conference room with a long table, windows, and comfortable chairs. Turner was seated at the table without restraints. Agent Johnson wore plain clothes and did most of the questioning. Neither Johnson nor Flint was armed. Agent Johnson began by telling Turner that he did not have to answer any of Johnson's questions and that he was not in Johnson's custody. Johnson had a soft-spoken and gentle demeanor during the interview and did not use deception. Johnson and Flint sought to determine where Turner obtained the cell phone that was found in his bunk and to learn what they could about the circumstances related to the phone. Turner told the investigators that he received the cell phone from another inmate and used it to view explicit pictures of children. After the interview, prison guards escorted Turner back to his housing unit. Turner was again charged with possessing explicit pictures of children. He moved to suppress statements that he made during the interview with Johnson and Flint on the grounds that he was subjected to custodial interrogation without Miranda warnings. The district court concluded that Turner was not in custody during the interview and denied the motion to suppress. A jury convicted Turner. Turner maintains that the district court erred by concluding that he was not in custody for purposes of Miranda when he was interrogated at the prison. Ordinarily, the ultimate question in determining whether a person is in custody for purposes of Miranda is whether there is a formal arrest or restraint on freedom of movement of the degree associated with a formal arrest. The custody question turns on whether, under the totality of the circumstances, an objectively reasonable person in the suspect's position would have felt free to terminate the interrogation and leave. The fact that Turner was incarcerated at the time of the questioning does not mean that he was automatically in custody for purposes of Miranda. In the prison context, the court considered whether the circumstances of the interview are consistent with an interrogation environment in which a reasonable person would have felt free to terminate the interview and leave. An inmate is considered free to leave for purposes of Miranda if he is free to return to his normal life within the prison. By informing Turner that he did not have to answer questions, Special Agent Johnson plainly implied that Turner could decline the interview and return to his normal life in the prison. A reasonable inmate in Turner's position would have understood that he was free to discontinue the interview and go back to his housing unit. Conclusion. Turner was an inmate at a correctional facility. He argued that statements he made during the interrogation should have been suppressed. He contended that investigators subjected him to custodial interrogation without warnings in violation of the rule set forth in Miranda v. Arizona. The court said the fact that Turner was incarcerated at the time of the questioning did not mean that he was automatically in custody for purposes of Miranda. Thank you for joining us in this episode of Case Brief. We hope this analysis provided valuable insights into determining when an inmate is in custody for the purposes of Miranda. Stay tuned for more episodes brought to you by the Missouri Sheriff's Association. If you enjoyed this content, please like and subscribe. We look forward to bringing you more informative episodes in the future.